Breaking news. Cody Bellinger joins the New York Yankees. The rollercoaster career takes a new turn. Hey, baseball fans, buckle up, because the world of MLB just got a whole lot more interesting. Cody Bellinger is officially heading to the New York Yankees in a trade with the Chicago Cubs. That's right, the former MVP is now wearing pinstripes. And we've got a lot to unpack. So grab your popcorn, take a seat, and let's dive into this wild trade. Now, if you've been following baseball for the past few years, you know Cody Bellinger's career has been a bit of a roller coaster. From MVP glory to shoulder injuries to his comeback in 2023. It's been one heck of a ride. And just when we thought we had seen it all, Bellinger is traded to the Yankees. Talk about a plot twist. So, let's break this down and take a look at what this trade means for both teams. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Bellinger's wild ride, from MVP to rollercoaster. Let's rewind the tape and take a trip back to 2019. A year that feels like a lifetime ago for Cody Bellinger. At just 23 years old, Bellinger was the talk of the baseball world. The Los Angeles Dodgers outfielder had an MVP season that made everyone sit up and take notice. With a jaw-dropping .305, .406, .629 slash line, 47 home runs, and 115 RBIs, he looked like he was on track for a future Hall of Fame career. The world was his oyster, and it seemed like he was just getting started. But then, 2020 happened. After hitting a clutch, game-winning home run in Game 7 of the NLCS, Bellinger managed to dislocate his shoulder while celebrating with Kike Hernandez. Yep, you heard that right, the infamous celebration injury that became a defining moment in his career. Not only did this injury require surgery, but it also set the stage for a series of struggles that would plague Bellinger for years to come. The next couple of seasons were, well, let's say, not great. In 2021, Bellinger was barely playable, hitting just .165 with 10 home runs in 95 games. And while he showed some improvement in 2022, it was clear he wasn't the same player who had taken the baseball world by storm just a few years earlier. His swing looked off, and his power just wasn't there. Then came the Dodgers' decision to non-tender Bellinger. Ouch, that was a clear sign that the team was done with him. And they weren't willing to pay the price for his down years. Enter the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs take a chance on Bellinger's comeback. In 2023, the Cubs decided to roll the dice and sign Bellinger to a low-risk, one-year deal. And boy, did he deliver. Bellinger looked more like his old self, winning the NL Comeback Player of the Year award and putting up an impressive .307 batting average with 26 home runs and 97 RBIs. His shoulder appeared to be healthy again, or at least manageable, and he was finally starting to look like the player who had been so dominant in 2019. But just as the Cubs were celebrating Bellinger's bounce-back season, reality hit. The 2024 season didn't go as planned for Bellinger. His numbers regressed, and his once promising future started to feel like a distant memory. And so, the Cubs decided it was time to move on. Enter the New York Yankees. Bellinger was back on the trade block, and the Yankees, who had been eyeing him for a while, finally pulled the trigger. Why did the Yankees make this move? Okay, let's talk about why the Yankees made this trade. The short answer: they needed a new slugger to replace Juan Soto. With Soto's record-breaking contract with the Mets, the Yankees found themselves in need of a power bat to fill the void in their lineup. Sure, they've got Aaron Judge, but they needed someone else to help carry the load. And that's where Bellinger comes in. Yes, his numbers regressed in 2024. But don't forget, this is a former MVP who has shown he can still hit for average and power when healthy. Plus, Bellinger is a versatile player who can play center field, which is huge for the Yankees. With Judge moving to right field, Bellinger will slide into the center, giving the Yankees some much-needed stability in their outfield. The Yankees also got some financial relief in this deal. The Cubs are sending $5 million to New York, which helps cover part of Bellinger's contract. It's a win-win for the Yankees, who get a potential star player without taking on the full financial burden of his contract. But wait, this isn't just about the Yankees getting Bellinger. There's also a guy named Cody Poteet involved in the deal. Poteet, a right-handed reliever, is headed to Chicago in exchange for Bellinger. While Poteet hasn't been a household name, he has been solid in the minors and had a few appearances for the Yankees in 2024. He could provide some depth to the Cubs' bullpen. But let's be honest, this trade is all about shedding salary for the Cubs. The Cubs' salary dump or smart move. Now, let's shift our focus to the Cubs. What's the deal with them trading away Bellinger after such a successful comeback season? Well, the reality is that the Cubs were never really going to keep Bellinger long-term. He was always seen as a short-term investment. After all, the Cubs are in a weird spot right now. While they've made some good moves, like acquiring Kyle Tucker from the Astros, they're still trying to figure out their long-term direction. And Bellinger's salary, which was expected to be over $17 million for 2025, was something the Cubs just couldn't keep carrying. By trading Bellinger, the Cubs free up a significant chunk of change, which they can use to continue building their roster. Whether that means signing free agents or making another trade is anyone's guess. But for now, this move looks like a salary dump. The Cubs have to make smart decisions moving forward if they want to turn this team into a real contender again. What's next for both teams? So, what's next for both teams after this trade? Well, for the Yankees, this is just the first of what will likely be a busy offseason. With key players like Alex Verdugo, Gleyber Torres, and Anthony Rizzo hitting free agency, the Yankees have a lot of holes to fill. They'll need to make more moves to stay competitive in the American League. But Bellinger is a solid start. For the Cubs, it's all about using that financial flexibility wisely. They've cleared up some room by trading Bellinger. But the real question is whether they can make the right moves to build a championship-caliber team. With a strong farm system and some young talent, the Cubs are on the right track. They just need to keep pushing forward. Conclusion. In the end, this trade is one of those moves that leaves you with more questions than answers. The Yankees are taking a chance on Bellinger, hoping he can find his 2019 form and help them replace the massive presence of Juan Soto. Meanwhile, the Cubs are shedding salary and hoping they can reinvest that money into building a better roster. One thing is for sure, baseball never stops surprising us. Whether Bellinger thrives in New York or whether the Cubs make some big moves with their newfound financial freedom, we'll be watching closely. What do you think about this trade? Will Bellinger make a huge impact for the Yankees? Or will his shoulder issues continue to hold him back? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more baseball content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow fans. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.